Goodbye, cool. Hello, hey, good evening, everyone. Good morning from another part of the world. Um, if you could hear me, please raise up your hand. Anyone in our audience?
I could hear you.
That'll be great. Arthur. How about?
I can hear you as well. Can you hear me?
Yeah,
Yes, I can
perfect,
hear you.
Arthur. Are you guys Malaysian? I'm Singaporean.
Oh, really? You're Singaporean? We are neighbors then. Hi. Zeus, are you there?
I'm here, just trying to switch devices. Just give me 60 seconds.
Sure. So, while waiting for Zeus to switch on the devices, thanks for everyone for joining us today. And this will be our second AMA within this. Last week we had one with Swan Chain, and this one, as we already shared with the community, right? We announced about our community strategy partnership with multiple network. So for the FILLiquid X Space today, we welcome everyone to our FILLiquid Space sessions. We are here once again, right, to celebrate another new community strategic partnerships between FILLiquids and multiple.
Yeah.
Sure thing. Thanks, Wayne. Can you hear me, Wayne?
Yeah, I think we're both on. My devices are good right now.
Okay, Zeus, you can hear me, Zeus?
Yeah, could you hear me?
Yes. Okay, I could hear you. Okay, I could hear you loud and clear. Yeah, just to make sure. The fact is, the reality is actually I'm just sitting right opposite Wayne in the hotel room, so I'm not sure whether am I hearing his voice or am I hearing directly from my AirPod. So yeah, I just want to make sure that everybody is hear this. But yeah, once again, I mean, this AMA session seems to be on a weekly basis. First, I'd like to thank everyone for taking your time or your precious time off for joining us, and just to really dive deeper to understand our very strategic partnership between FILLiquid as a multiple network. I have had the opportunity to meet some of the team members multiple network sometime this week. Very young, very enthusiastic, very passionate, and I think what they're building right now is incredibly groundbreaking. It's something that it's really there's a real use case application that's really in the deep end primitive, and the fact that they are providing data storage data transmission are with a mission of serving the billion of users through their very cutting edge DSD1 technology engineering. If I got that right, Zeus, please correct me. DSD1, yeah. And I think that's okay, cool. So I think that's really very interesting that we're incentivizing the users we're able to earn and pay, and wanting, of course, we share like a very similar our narrative. It's really going through the decentralization. So we also want to dive deeper into giving you an understanding of like decentralization as data storage, as probably some of yours might know or might not know that FILLiquid is it's the only decentralized liquidity staking protocols with the Filecoin ecosystem. And hence I think we are very excited and very stoked to be really sharing with all of you. And thanks Zeus from Multiple Network for spending your time doing this with us as well. I can't wait to plug your brain just to really dive deeper into Multiple Network at the same time. Yeah, can you guys hear me? If you guys can hear me, please give me some love, because I think the hotel where we are, the connection seems to be very unstable. Okay, could you just give me thumbs up, anyone else, if you could really hear me clearly? Yeah, ne? Okay, so you guys could hear me, okay, yeah. Yeah, I mean, well, Wayne is trying to fix his connection. Yeah. So how's it going? Zeus? Can you hear me now, Zeus?
Okay, could everyone hear me? Could everyone hear me now?
Yes, Zeus. I can hear you now, Zeus. Yeah. Cool. Can you hear me? Yes, I can. Hmm.
Mic test.
Okay, now it's good.
Mic test other.
Yes, I can hear you.
Let's try again. Could we
Yeah,
leave
it's
and
good.
rejoin?
可以。那你用你的手机试试看吧。
Yeah. Okay.
Can you guys hear? Can you guys hear, guys? If you can, please give a thumbs up, just to really check. Did you hear Zeus talking? Hmm. Ouch. You can't, right? Okay. I'm not sure whether you guys can hear me, so yeah, but hello guys.
Okay, can everyone hear me? Could everyone hear me? Could everyone hear me?
Yes, now it's good. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I was just dropped from being a speaker, so I had to re-request. Sorry about that.
No problem, Zeus.
Yeah, let's dig a bit deeper. Thank you for the very gracious introduction. Maybe I'll dig a bit deeper. So, multiple network. Yes, we use SD-WAN in order to create a global network of nodes to enable faster data transmission, especially for AI companies. So, apart from SD-WAN, we also use UDP and UDP in order to enable the transmission to be much faster than regular TCP/IP. And the third kind of technology that we use is splitting the data into multiple parallel pathways, hence our name multiple, so that there's more ISP allocation per node. Everyone heard that, right?
Absolutely. Super cool. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I think let's leave our mics on all the way so you
Okay.
can respond.
Yeah. Let's just do that. That's okay. Yes, yeah. Yeah, so yeah, thanks Osaka for sharing that. Osaka. So well, Osaka, considering that Zeus Osaka have given an introduction Osaka of a multiple network, for those Osaka who are not very familiar Osaka with FILLiquid. FILLiquid Osaka, it's a lending and borrowing protocol that's implemented Osaka on the Filecoin Osaka virtual machine. Essentially, it's like we are the only project, or we are the only liquidity staking is like a protocol that's completely decentralized, it's like open source, where we allow the Filecoin token holders to deposit, to lend, and stake, and earn passive income. At the same time, we also allow our borrowers, which are known as the storage providers, to able to borrow the file coins from the liquidity pool to expand their storage provisioning, and also for storage efficiency and capacities as well. The biggest difference between our liquidity staking protocols and the rest of other protocols out there in the market. Number one is we provide we offer a very uniquely designed dynamic interest rate that where the interest rate is being determined based on utilization rate, and so hence a high the utilization rate is a high the demand, and hence a high the demand which means that will also generate higher APY to our stakers and our leases. Essentially is our the ideas the essence of our technology. It's allowing the storage providers to able to borrow the file coins at any point of time without much financial burden, and also over collateralization as how they previously used to experience. So this essentially is it's to really improve and increase the liquidity within the Filecoin ecosystem. Yeah.
That's really cool. That's really expanding the use of Filecoin and decentralized storage in general.
Yeah, I mean, essentially, I think the Filecoin being the largest decentralized storage primitive, are and of course this was even before DP was ever being invented, right? So the or before the narrative of DP was being conveyed out to the public. Essentially, the way how we see it is, I think Zeus just within the decentralization, and just talking about data storage, I think there's no other better times than now. That where number one, I think we are living in an AI era, and AI era, which means requires even a stronger compute powers, data storage demand, that's needed from the industry and the sectors itself. And that being said, that's I think more important than ever. I think I mean just looking at from the macros like a Web3 like a narrative, it's essential for everyone to be. That's where really decentralized data really comes in very naturally, and that's where we feel since the Filecoin virtual machine was established since early last year, that I think just opened up as like a complete new horizon, for us, to be the decentralized finance player.
Right. Yeah. I think it's super exciting. So I just came off a panel right here in Shin. It was ORT, a fellow Deepin project. ORT's president actually invited me on stage, and conclusion
Yeah.
really was this: in order to enable the AI revolution, Arthur, that you were speaking about, there are a few kind of parts to it, right? There's of course the storage for ourselves. We do the transmission. Of course, many other Deepin projects doing the GPU processing layer. It coming all together really makes the AI happen.
But I just want to touch on, I mean, since, we are just talking about the narrative of Deepin, just really going, just sidetrack a bit. It's Zero, it's what is really the way how you see is Deepin is verticals already have a real use case. Do you really see Deepin as as generally where we're able to onboard as billion of users, as what we always like to say is what's your take on that?
Yeah, I think my take is that there are real users. Yes, DeepIn projects in general at a very nascent stage, right? It's the beginning, and that's really exciting. It's a stage where users, investors who come in and really benefit from it. In terms of users, I think the best way to come on board, right, especially for us, is to be both a user and a node. So being a node allows you to earn points, tokens, and it could really offset your kind of transmission costs. If you're sending a large file, you might have earned enough points by contributing your own bandwidth to other kind of users' transmission. So with that, we really see accelerated growth. Even within our current stage one of testnet, we have about 5,000 users that we've chosen and whitelisted, and we have about 20,000 more waiting. So that just gives a little glimpse on the kind of hunger, how people are excited, both as a user and a node. And especially with AI companies, right? We have signed quite a few LOIs in terms of AI companies that are very interested in giving our service a trial and actually uh, interested in creating the transmission channel for them, something that's decentralized, something that's private. So on our side, from our perspective, we see a big need for it, and definitely very much encouraged by, say, the conference that I just stepped out from just 2 hours ago. And also for DPN, right? Whether it's investors or even users, I've had a lot of conference attendees really just come up and inquire about how they could participate, how they could use.
That's very impressive. That's very impressive, Zero. So I want to touch on that where around DP projects have to really go from the angles of incentivizing users, and of course I understand as much as I understand that multiple networks also incentivize users by earning as as they consume as they go. You know, do you see that there is that that particular area plays a very huge role of really increasing the adoption of DPIN. Besides, then that's the whole decentralized, protecting the data. But it's also important for projects to really be incorporating the incentive for users.
Yeah. The imperative to incorporate deep in, right, rather than say centralized physical infrastructure. Um, I guess stepping from the Web 2 world, right? A lot of people's kind of intuition would be to go with centralized solutions, is viewed as something that's more stable. But of course, we can take a look at Cambridge Analytica, for example. Uh, Having a centralized kind of server or storage of user data is almost asking for attackers' attention, right? So a lot of our Facebook
Yeah.
profiles, especially in the US, compromised, and there are many other breaches of security like that as well. So increasingly, especially if privacy is a concern, there's a very kind of strong use case for that. But I guess just as with any technological shift, right? Even from Web 1 to Web 2, where we have to interact with each other more from Web 2 to Web 3, it requires a paradigmatic shift. There are always those that adopt it first, and then it goes on to mainstream before even the laggards, even those that are reluctant to use, would realize that this is indeed the mainstream, or even past the mainstream stage, right, where it's omnipresent. So this is a trajectory that I really see it going after.
Yeah, couldn't agree more. So, yeah. Well, Zeus, you touched a bit on your test net. Kudos to that. I mean, I can share my sentiment the test net of what FILLiquid has gone through. But considering that today, your guest, would just really like to probably maybe share with the viewers. I know there's a lot of exciting lineups for a multiple network, and I'm sure testnet is it's you got to probably go through rigorous rounds
Right.
Testnet. Probably share a couple of the challenges that your team and yourself really face throughout the entire development,
Yeah.
towards
Yeah, great
gearing
question,
up
right?
towards the
I'll start
launch
off with
of
some of the
multiple network.
small challenges. Yeah, I'll start off with some of
Yeah.
the small challenges. So the customer journey looks a bit like this. First, you go onto a website and then you connect to your wallet. Your address would have been whitelisted if you've been invited by one of our kind of PR as well as team members, and then you can create an account. So in terms of friction, just because of this stage where it's whitelist only, some of them with multiple addresses, they've asked us like, "Hey, I cannot seem to connect," but it's quite simple actually in terms of selecting the right address and then coming on board. And after that, they find that the entire kind of transfer process is smooth. For others, they're like, okay, I want to have my recipient. I couldn't find his username there. We have UIDs, unique identifiers, and they can actually find themselves from the current list, especially if both nodes are online. But I guess the friction, if I have to analyze it from a macro perspective or macro scale, it's really about using a new technology. Let's say if we're using something as intuitive as Facebook for the first time, or something like WeChat, we might be kind of tripping over ourselves a little, right? And after that, you realize that it's so intuitive, so easy to use. That's the main kind of friction, new tech.
And how exactly it is? So gearing up towards so how many rounds of testnet does multiple networks
Three
plans to
stages.
incorporate?
Yeah, 3 stages in total. So for the first stage, right now,
Okay.
5,000 only. Second stage, it's 20,000. And then third stage is open. Open in terms of having a test net, not just internally on our own network, but actually launching it on a test net of Ton as well as Solana. So everyone could come on board. And we're looking at having that in 6 months' time.
Cool. Yeah, these are the very hot chains network with massive users that are really onboarded and are I'm sure a lot of excitement just within these two networks itself.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we went through 3 rounds of testnet as well, 2.5 to be exact, if that makes sense. We had our 2 rounds of testnet, and that was also while waiting for our codes to be audited and approved by a security audit our companies like Citic sellers. So there was a period of 4 months, and essentially, to build that narrative of decentralized and giving that confidence to our community, that was really one of the biggest challenge for us, because oftentimes as you know, a lot of DeFi players out there, are proving themselves or trying to validate themselves as being a decentralized, but hence, if we really go through the integrity part, they're not entirely decentralized, hence, well, for us we already have the browser authentication to prove that our codes cannot be deployed, and we show that with evidence. It cannot be edited, it cannot be modified. So that really took some time to really build that trust from the community, as essentially because we are communities are bloodline, and without the community support, FILLiquid wouldn't have succeeded even the 2 rounds of the test net as well. And I just generally think that going back to the essence of what our project is, it's really about transparency, it's about being honest and being safe, and that is we have to really walk the talk and talk the walk, with our actions. Hence why we give the latest updates on our social channels. Sometimes I just I just have to applaud my social media team, and with the regular updates. If I don't check a single day, I'll probably miss out like tons of information. And essentially, like even some people came up to me and say, oh, don't you think it's like you're flooding your Twitter, X, postings? It's so difficult to track the information. But generally, I think that's what our communities, our users want out there, to really, having that real life update as possible. So I think we went through that whole 4 months of that whole test net, and we succeeded of our last round test net. We attracted about 15,000 of unique wallets, and having a total of TVL of 65 million. That really gave us the assurance that I think we're good to go for our mainnet. And once we got approved even from CITIC and sellers, yet we still want to make sure that all the codes, the entire codes are verified, and just to make sure that it's not vulnerable. And yet we still went through another 3 more weeks, and that's where our community got a little bit impatient. It's like, hey, you guys already should be launching a mainnet, when you guys do. And because essentially I think we are so much more towards finance as a kind of project, rather than infrastructure. So I think generally I like to always think that the financial community are a little bit more impatient that those infrastructure. So yeah,
There's really good
that was
interest as
really
well.
something.
And you don't mind me asking a question, right? How did you build your community from scratch? How did it grow?
So I think it really goes back to really the ethos of FILLiquid. Essentially the ethos of FILLiquid was to really provide as adequate updates as possible, and this information updates are regularly being updated, to really share to our community. We show it to them, that it's not how much we know, but it's how much we care for our community, and having that engagement. If I want to just recall back time, and it was really building from something from zeros to right now a total of 70K in total, including Discord. And all we did was just really just being true to ourselves, and being true to ourselves, it's also sticking to our ethos, guide, that where we want to give as real life update as possible, truly just being honest, and and showing it proving it of what we are saying at the same time. But more importantly, it's really engaging with them. Like for instance, we have our fortnightly community core, just asking anything to the community growth. And I would jump in on like a CEO address, giving them like a monthly and a quarterly kind of updates of where we were, and also being transparent as what are the challenges that we went through. It was never like it was a smooth journey and all. And I think by us, just revealing what are the challenges and why sometimes there are obstacles and roadblocks that we couldn't really, sort of like, achieve that kind of, like deadlines as what we initially said. Yeah. And I think that's where, the community, the users really realize that, hey, like, yeah, I think this project is, really prioritizing the needs of the community rather than just the gains of the project. And I think that it's very important. Yeah, that human psychology part of it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's super exciting. Do you see any particular geographies in terms of where your users are from?
Absolutely. So we applaud our Korean community. So really huge for Filecoin, for FILLiquid. So yeah, I mean, also we have a very passionate head of BD Korea. So super passionate into the decentralized data storage. Um, yeah, so if Billy you're hearing that, yeah, kudos to that. It's taking a lot of leadership. We just a couple of days ago with the Filecoin Foundation as well. And yeah, just empowering the leaders of tomorrow at the university, and and essentially talking about how decentralized uh, data network really plays such a pivotal role in today's uh, technology advancement era. Yeah. So yeah, so it's really the Far East region side against the Koreans, the Japanese, our African communities against growing at the same time, and I think that's very it's a huge movement that's really going on there. And again, it's like really going back to our mission of accelerating global adoption of decentralized finance, right? To improve the well-being of the community. I think that's something that's really I can say is that's a testament that what we're doing. It's just going beyond the this monetary and transactional, but the fact that we're today is if we could actually just improve the well-being of our community, empowering them by just improving their livelihood, of staking the file coins in the liquidity pool, and making that difference in their life. I think that goes a long way, Zeus. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you very much for sharing. Yeah, I think the financial component, as you highlighted, is important as well, right? It really helps ground things. So the community is excited, they get rewarded financially as well. How you really pull resources and then monetize it.
Zeus, if you could share what sort of impact that, can you hear me,
Yeah,
Zeus?
I can hear you.
Okay, cool. Yeah. So what sort of impact do you envision to transform the network, the community through multiple network?
So I think the transformative element is that previously, right, we just have idle resources that's broadband. Most of our ISPs have no real cap in terms of how much broadband we can, as long as it's not really over the top. So this is when they can really monetize on it. Previously, DPIN was a concept and AI was a concept where, oh, okay, for example, I wish I bought NVIDIA stock. I wish I had the GPUs in order to share and make money through this DPIN. And then, hey, becomes multiple that I have something real, I have something where I have extra capacity to spend with, and I can now actually help and participate in the AI revolution while also getting rewarded for it. I think that's the main thing that gets many users excited. And the second thing that excites AI companies is that, hey, previously it was like AWS, but what if AWS on top of security, privacy concerns, right? Like, what if AWS is really training on my data and taking away the little edge that I have as a little AI company? So that's some of the feedback that
Yeah.
we've heard from both users, bracket AI companies, as well as our nodes, right? Everyday kind of mom and pops.
Decentralized, it's always, it's security is always a big issue when it comes to decentralized, and the fact that multiple networks has the decentralized, the privacy is through decentralization part of it. Could you just dive in a little bit of talking about how the security is for the users and the community, and how do you plan to also build that trust with the community too?
So the first thing is that the data is actually split into multiple packets, right? And it's encrypted. It's only decrypted once it's received by the recipient's software. So encryption all the way, split into multiple packets. No one person has your data. And that's really where decentralization in terms of security and privacy takes place.
Cool, cool. Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How about yourselves? Are there privacy and security kind of areas that you're taking care of or have completely kind of resolved or fulfilled?
Uh, yeah. I mean, the fact that we are, as I mentioned earlier, the fact that we are fully decentralized, our codes are also open source at the same time, where allows the users to really be checking our codes to ensure it's verified, and there's no duplication or being modified as well. So we have also recently, posted up our browser verification, to show that where this deploy contract it matches with the public code, simply means that there's really no cheating in the deployment, and that is something we're sharing out there, and that we're allowing our users to able to trust in using our contracts with utmost confidence. And we just have the balls and the guts to be showing that, print screening that. And I think again, that really goes back because the fact that we are very decentralized, the only decentralized. We talk so much about decentralized, and ensuring that where the smart contract it's also verified, so the codes are verified. So hence we have to prove that with evidence. So we could, when we decided on our security audit, the fact that where we took one step ahead, going beyond the static, and partly the reason why we decided to work with sellers, because sellers is also very Asian appealing at the same time, and considering that we do have a huge movement, or part largely our communities it's also from Asia as well. So we just wanted to take additional measurement and steps to just verify our codes. And of course, we have also launched the bug bounties program, that where we reward up to 500,000, 500,000 of our governance token, which is known as FIG tokens. And if any users were able to detect like any of our codes that are vulnerable, they will be rewarded accordingly as well. So after when we completed the 2 rounds of the test net, we decided to have additional time frames of like 3 weeks, 3 additional weeks, and just to really make sure that all this are really verified and very transparent to our users and community. Yeah.
Hey, I really like that. There's always a trilemma, right? Of speed, security, availability. So I can really see how you take care of the security. I like that. I like the bounty part especially.
Yeah, it is. I mean, the way how I see it is like you know, also going back to that whole understanding of honesty, transparency. Uh, I always see like how when we build a project, right? It's like how we go back to the understanding of the Maslow law of needs,
Right.
and just really feeding the users like the Maslow law of needs has guided how human beings need their physiological needs, safety, love, and so and on, right? And that was the part that where we needed to guide the users to understand about what is the essence of our product and why we built that. There was a lot of education, and that comes as the fact that where we want to we want to improve, to create a better, stronger, healthy liquidity for the Filecoin ecosystem, because we are just bunch of passionate folks that believe the decentralized data storage will be ruling, the world. I mean, and that's just, the whole ideology of what Web3 is. So really going beyond that I think that's just something that's so essential. Then the next thing was to really engage with them, wanting to give them easier and better user experience. Like right now, that's where I think I can just unveil this, and this is where the cat is going to be out of the bag. That where we're going to have like 2.0 of our website, and that's really to give us a much more comfortable, a more user friendly experiences for our users and for our storage providers. And so hence it's easier to really onboard them using our protocol. Yeah.
Yeah, it's super exciting. Good to know that Web 2.0, kind of website 2.0 for FILLiquid is coming up. The current website is really looking really good.
I think the current website is right now. I think a lot of people are saying hey, if I'm not a Filecoin back holder, if I go to FILLiquid,
Right.
I would rather get lost in between. Like, how do I go about? Yeah.
Ah,
So I think we just want to make it
okay.
easier. Yeah. I mean, it's very nice of you saying that it's super cool. Probably maybe you understand this space very much. But yeah, I think we definitely are very excited to really make it like the moment once even my mom goes to FILLiquid.io, she will instantaneously know what to do. Yeah, and then I think that's going to be a great achievement. Yeah. Yeah.
What can we expect?
Sorry, I didn't get to hear
Oh,
you just
sorry.
now. Yes, I think the line was a bit choppy.
Yeah,
No worries.
I didn't shut up. Oh, sorry about that. I was saying that it's really cool, right? Especially if you're coming from the mass adoption angle, for anyone, even without a Web3 background or even a Web 2.0 background, to be able to navigate it smoothly. What are some of the things that we can look forward to for the 2.0 version of your website? Is there like a brand theme? Are there icons, motifs that we can look forward to?
Well, I think first and foremost, it's to really like when any of the users, Web 2 or Web 2.5 users, come to our site, no, they will able to be equipped with a lot of videos interactions. The guide, the user's guide, are a more comprehensive and detailed FAQ, and slightly a bit more inclined towards users rather than the storage providers. I generally
Right.
think that right now our site is it's also catering very much for storage providers. So hence, when they come to our site, they don't really get much complication. And then of course, on the aesthetic part of it, it's so that's where we will also be having a little bit more interactive and engaging kind of aesthetic. It's like a feel and look. So hence, that is will also able to influence the psychology of the users. In terms of the colors, the typography, and the navigation of it, just really making them really easy to really depositing their fuel. Well, I generally think it's not so much of the depositing part because it's really quite straightforward.
Right.
So yeah, really just giving them a bit more information. We incorporate the blog. We have the brand team as well. We have the team profile. So I think all this is some excitement. And then as there are a couple of other features which we're also launching. So we do have our governance token as I was sharing that. So one of the biggest advantages of FILLiquid is where upon depositing Filecoin, you'll be receiving the liquidity staking derivative token or LSD token, which is FIT. So we are actually working we are actually working on as a multi-token as a kind of system, just to really make it easier for users, to navigate everything. And then after that, they were able to farm feed in order to get FIG, which is our governance token.
Right.
And that's where the governance token they were able to trade once when we go listing by Q4 this year.
Right.
So even the FIG tokens, that's where very soon, that where our users were able to stake the FIG tokens as well, and to even go extra miles, with their earnings. So they were able to choose either they want to stake 30 days, 90 days, 180 days, 360 days. Yeah. And yeah, and that's something that's really going to be very exciting. So that is really open up for the storage providers and for the users as well. Every time when the storage providers repay back their loan, they will be rewarded with FIG tokens. So yeah, so this part is all will be modified to be further improved. So on the staking, then there's also revenue sharing as well. And last but not least, is the burning mechanism going towards the approach of deflationary. And with that approach, of course, that's where we're also expecting once, when our token is going to be listed on an exchange, um, the idea behind it is of course it's also to with the whole burning mechanisms is to ensure that where the price is will also be stable at the same time.
Yeah.
So yeah, so I think this it's really just, well, as this project FILLiquid belongs to community, and the team and myself is it's always constantly just thinking how we could go extra miles for our community and users.
I like that. I like the brand story, and also looking forward to your announcements in Q4 in terms of which exchanges the FILLiquid will be on.
Yeah,
I also wanted
I
to
understand as Zeus
this
that you have. Yeah,
oh, sorry,
I
I
know
think
that some
like
exciting.
hmm,
I know there's some exciting like technology that you're building on. And I know I don't want to spill the beans myself, so probably maybe you could share the community that I know that's like phase 2 right now of new innovation that you're building multiple network, and how can a community participate on multiple network as well.
yeah, definitely. So kind of as mentioned a little right now, um, it's 5,000 users, right? That's on my list. You still have
Yeah,
spaces left on the list, especially if anyone in this call, right, decided definitely send a tweet out or just private message us, DM us on X actually, and we would be happy to consider. You can include a little blurb in terms of why we should pick you as a note. Maybe you have a really healthy broadband connection, or maybe you're just really passionate in terms of the vision that you share with us. If not, the second stage of testnet it should be out in 2 months, and we definitely welcome more users to come join. And you can also mention that you have participated in this call as well, especially with a screenshot of your attendance here. So that's one way. That's more catered to people on this call. I really echo your thinking about the website as well. So myself, right, as a co-founder, I've thought a lot about how we present both our product as well as our vision to everyone, both the notes as well as the users, as you were going to detail on. So right now you can see that our website is very product focused, right? Um, some of the pages would be more user focused as well. We do have a brand theme that we will be expanding further on, and it's a little biased because I was in the Navy. So the brand theme is about ships, about naval ships. And the reason why we pick ships as a motif, right, a recurring image, is that ships really are representatives of our nodes that will be carrying the data, especially transcontinental data. That's where most of the data bottlenecks really take place. If you look at it from a networking perspective, a lot of the data has limited allocation. Let's say I'm here in Hong Kong wanting to send something over to San Francisco, right? Let's say my wedding video, for example, something that I'd like to keep private, but I don't want the transfer speed to be too fast. So using our MVP, it can be more than 10 times faster than, say, using Dropbox, right? And that really conveys that, hey, we're resilient, trustworthy, we do it fast, and trust our nodes slash ships to really navigate the sea of data transfer. So that's a little brand story behind it. We really hope could really convey the message to our users specifically, beyond people that are in tech, beyond people that are in Web3, that might really like the tech view a little more.
Well, generally, serious as I have to say that I generally love your current site. I think it's just very futuristic.
Hey, thank
It's one of those sites that actually I have to say it's one of those sites that Web3 doesn't have that loading. You have that
you.
loading,
Right,
and that keep people in suspense.
right? Especially
I
at
kind of every
99%.
time oh, yes, and it's always longer, it's like 99%, that's right. And it's like, okay, so give me those info. It's like,
Yeah, I
yes,
want it now.
yeah, spill the beans to me. It's like, what is this? Yeah, I want it now. It's like, so, I think keeping that, like users, in that suspense, but it's like, I think it's really, really interesting. And I can just, imagine, it's like, that, how much time, it's like, painstakingly, it's like, you're actually investing your time in creating that
Yeah,
site. But I think more importantly, it's just to echo what they say is I think it's really for people to just I'll go to the site and really fully understand. And at the end of the day, it's really about not how we want it to be, right? It's
right.
how our users want it, and how we prioritize our users and community wants and needs are, and of course essentially is they just want to prioritize of what their needs, so we have to put ourselves in the shoes at the same time.
Exactly.
But yeah, I'm super excited looking forward to the transformation of the site as well.
Yeah,
And I think that's where we share the same ethos of just really improving, keep building, keep scaling, keep growing. And I think that's the excitement as a good part
I
of it.
agree. I
Yeah.
agree. So for
Yeah.
kind of users on this call that haven't been on our website yet, the kind of image that Arthur is referring to, you can try it out even right now. It's multiple.cc, even as you're listening to this call. You can see it load and going deeper into the brand story, right? We're looking at our logo. So what is it actually? Is it waves? Is it a flag? It's both. So waves would be us transmitting data, right? Us working on your data transfer. And also it's a flag. It's a flag representing the ships, the nodes that are part of multiple network. So hoping that the brand kind of actually grows on you as you grow together with us. And give it a download. Connect your wallet, register for an account, uh, try to apply for a whitelist, and we're definitely open it up to you at the next two stages of our testnet. Let's grow together.
Cool, cool. So you guys heard it, very loud and clear. Go check out www.multiples.cc and how to monetize your internet connection, connect your wallet, and go get hopefully everyone here will be getting whitelisted as you hear from the man of ours himself. There's a lot of exciting things, and I'm sure if you do have any queries, please do not hesitate to also be reaching out to Zeus. You can click on his profile right now, a multiple network, and I believe that you could just reach out to Zeus. And yeah, reach out to the team. They have a lot of stuff, cool stuff. That's really happening. There are true builders out there. And I think they're just really the reshaping and rebuilding the entire of a decentralized storage and more importantly you were able to be monetized and rewarded at the same time for using the connection.
Yeah.
So yeah, this whole entire session became completely raw, unfiltered. Even like it was everything as just it wasn't really scripted at all because I think Wayne's connection is just really haywire.
Oh no,
I think
good. No,
I think it's almost come. It was so impromptu. It was so impromptu, and I think this really could go on as for a while more. But we're just gonna stick this win the time. Yeah. So Zeus is before we call off this session, and are there any last things last message that you want to share to community are the listeners right now and those listeners who are unable to join and who will be listening to the replay of this as well.
Right. Last notes. I guess I've spoken enough about myself and multiple network. Just wanted to give a real proper shout out to FILLiquid. I personally stake on it so that I can grow together with you, and also looking at just partnering right via the transmission channel for people that do want to store. For example, if they want to store in Filecoin, they can build a transmission channel on top of our global network layer. And we really look forward to working together, growing together, and also being a user of your space.
Cool, fantastic. Yeah, I mean, same likewise as well. We will be attending CoinFest Bali. If any of you guys who will be in Bali or any of the Indonesians, or you have Indonesian friends, bring them over to CoinFest Bali. And then we are also going to be. I know we are going to be involved in things during the Korea Blockchain Week. So to Koreans out there who are listening right now are go to Lumar and search for FuSo and multiple networks also will be participating as well. Yeah, I believe so. Yeah. And then of course then we'll be at WebEx if
Yeah,
any of you guys heading to Tokyo, check us out there. That will be before Korea Blockchain Week, which is next week. And then and of course I think we're gonna do something during Token 2049 in Singapore. So that is definitely not to be missed as well. And I think that will be something very exciting for us to be partnering and just to really engage the community. And yeah, guys, stay tuned with all the happenings, updates for our multiple network. Really big shout outs to multiple networks for really building such an amazing innovation and technology out there and just incentivizing the users at the same time. So if you haven't followed them, go click on it. Go follow their account and also get yourself updated. Not only follow, make sure get yourself notified too. So make sure click on getting notification on all the posts. And yeah, I mean, you're definitely going to see us doing more stuff together. So till then, just want to thanks once again everyone for just being here. I hope you get us a thing or two. Today is about FILLiquid is a multiple network. Primarily is more on multiple network. And also, we would like to apologize for any of the technical inconveniences due to our connections over here. That being said, I would just like to say goodbye to everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, and good night
yeah,
to every one of you. Depending which part of the world you guys at.
exactly. On the note of going to Indonesia as well as Korea, selamat malam for our Indonesian kind of listeners, as well as kamsahamnida for our Korean listeners.
Thank you so much. Terima kasih. So that's what we say. So yeah, yeah, amazing. Looking forward to see you again, present yours. Yeah.
See you after. Look
stay in touch then. Yep. See ya. Goodbye, guys. Bye, everyone.